Good morning. I haven't made a video like this in quite a long time where Gabriel's not here, the homeless man. I'm not interviewing him. And so many of my videos lately have either been that or mostly walking around this property. Uh, Videos which I tend to call water walks because they're so related to water for most of the year unless we get a drought like we did last year. But anyway, I need to stop because of a single word that I would like to make sure my viewers know. And here's the word corpus, Corpus, corpus. It's the Latin word for body. Uh, and it appears as a root in all kinds of words. But by itself, corpus, not that much. And the place that I ran into it was at Harvard studying linguistics. Now, I don't very often speak highly of Harvard because I was very miserable while I was there. Although recently, the way I've seen Harvard stand up to the attack, Trump's attack on not only Harvard but academia in general, has kind of made me proud. But in any case, I mention it because that's the first that I ever ran into this word corpus that I knew of. And in linguistics, the study of language, when linguists had to figure out all these 5 to 7,000 languages that are out there, if there's no dictionary, there's no grammar, there was nothing. And this mostly happened 150 years ago, maybe probably about 150 years ago now, that linguists managed to figure these languages out. Now you needed an informant, if you could get one, an informant. That would be somebody who would actually be speaking the language. And you also needed a corpus to be able to work with, which was a body of, I'll call them words, sounds, phrases. You had to have a corpus to be able to figure that language out. Well, I find the word corpus applies to so much of my work. What I'm doing, or my clerk, I maybe should call it play work. What I'm doing, I organize it as well as I can. Well, maybe not as well as I could, but I do organize it. Like these water walks, I not only are they time stamped by the computer or the internet, but I also put the date, morning or evening. So you see, I'm organizing them too, but I'm just kind of putting them out there, and they have become a huge corpus, a body of information, with which one could work. I could work. As a matter of fact, my entire YouTube channel, which has over 3,000 videos on it, it's a corpus, and I go to it. Often it's so handy to be able to access it by just searching. And I suppose many of my viewers don't realize that when you go to, say, my channel, there's a search at the top which searches all of the internet, but there's also a search midway down which is just searching my channel, and I go to it often. If, for example, I wanted to see what I've said about willow, that plant, that tree, if I just type in willow, there's probably 20 videos in which I've discussed willow. And the same thing is happening with homelessness and Gabriel. Now, I have organized it as I'm interviewing him, and I'm almost done with this interviewing part. It certainly has slowed up a lot because it's up to current times. And I don't have a necessary plan. I don't even really quite have an agenda. Not a new agenda. I have an old agenda, which is get people out of cities. I mean, that agenda is always there. Cities, in my mind, are cities as we know them should not exist. So that's an overarching agenda. But it's a body of information. And then I can go back, listen to the videos again, test a question, come up with questions. I'm making this longer than it needs to be. Oh, I do want to mention that there's a Pakistani viewer recently, he complained, it seemed to me a complaint. He says, well, what's all this filming of ditches and stuff? What's that got to do with the interviews? And on the surface of it, I might say, well, nothing. Actually, it's all related, but the water walks are one corpus. The exchanges with Gabriel the homeless are another corpus. So there you have a new word that you're liable to hear. You may not hear me use, but I hope you're aware of it. Bye for now.